Hey folks, welcome to Lion's Den today. Today we've got the Awow Mini PC TX33. The itself on this side here. Got port Windows 10, Intel processor, dual band Wi-Fi, an SSD option for expandable storage, either via a M2 SSD or the inbuilt storage, or even a micro SD card. Side, just, links there, QR codes for the various Amazon store links. And of course, just a little more details there. And then onto the back, you're supporting an Intel Celeron processor in 3350, Intel HD graphics 500, 6 GB of LP DDR3 RAM, 64 GB of eMMC flash storage, and of course obviously again in Windows 10, then obviously Intel dual band wireless AC 7265, which later in the video we'll definitely see the inside of the system, and obviously just links to their website and Facebook and so on. Inside the box, we are definitely greeted with the quick start guide. Nothing really amazing, just, someone tells you what all's there and basically getting it up and running. And of course, just, naming the various port layouts and so on. This one supports both VGA, or the classic VGA for older style monitors, or it can do HDMI. So basically this device could be used as like just a media center type PC system, or even as a regular system for virtual learning or just kind of whatever. Basically the system's not really going to be your end all be all machine, but it'll definitely get you what you need done, definitely in the course of a year or more. But obviously, technology changes and so on. What are you going to do? And again, the same thing as listed before about it, with all the various ports and so on. I'm going to go ahead and take a second there to read that. And the next thing up, we have a warranty card for 1 year from the manufacturer. So I will mention this, with Awow, they were definitely started back in 2016, so basically with it being now 2021, they would basically be 5 years old. So a fairly young company, but definitely support them if you can. They do seem to have some pretty unique products with some thought behind them. Obviously the little warranty info there. You want to read that. Now obviously I will mention with a lot of my videos, I'm currently working with very limited income, so I work with what I've got. Now obviously on top of the packaging we have the device itself. Whatever, pretty much all plastic, kind of a silvery deal with their logo done in white. On the side here we've got the VGA input, your Ethernet jack, headphone / microphone input, HDMI, regular just USB for like a keyboard or mouse, power input, then of course the power button itself. On this side is the two USB 3.0 ports with the TF card slot. And then on the bottom, nothing really fancy other than the access port here for the add-on storage, which if I'm not mistaken can be quite large. But basically it's going to be the stick style port. It's not your typical connection. I can get this actually open here. Let's get my old trusty craft knife out. And obviously inside there you can tell we've got the NVMe style ports. I think I got to take on the naming, but definitely don't fault me for that one. But you can basically put in your little SSD deal there, and of course it also has the mounting post for that, or you could probably, considering that space in here, it might even be possible to stick a little larger one in there. I don't know. A little modification, but I think it'd work. Now from there, the next thing we've got in the box is basically your power cord and an HDMI cable. Now obviously not every device in the world is going to come with one, so that's definitely a nice touch. There we go. I'm gonna do this screw, or I'm gonna do the screw. Yeah, I'm good to go. Found the screw. Kind of lost it there for a second, but all good. Get that pop back in there. And good to go. Now, the next step in the box is basically a HDMI cable. Of course, you just couldn't use one of those. They're handy. The next up is basically your power brick. Other than that, that's basically in the box. Alrighty, now moving on, getting the system set up. Now they get started with the basic welcome screen, and obviously introduction to Cortana from Microsoft. But obviously the next phase is basically just letting the system know where we're at. And obviously we are here in America, aka United States. Now obviously we'll get the audio here set up here shortly. But for the moment, we will run through the setup as normal. And for our keyboard, obviously, naturally, we are using the basic US keyboard layout. And we'll skip that for now. We don't only have the one connected. Currently, I'm using my iHome keyboard mouse collection. We're going to skip Wi-Fi because I do not really have regular internet except through this device itself. But obviously, and whatnot, we get in there. Obviously, there's features that you can't do if you did have internet, so on. And of course, naturally, the Windows 10 license agreement, basically saying that you aren't going to do something stupid and follow the rules and whatnot. Basically, you're not going to try to resell the thing and do things that you shouldn't be doing. But then again, I will mention this system will be available for purchase if anyone is interested. We're going to name the system Awow, and that's what it's called. Awow. Actually, let's rename the word of that. OW. And let's get the passcode. No password for now. But the system will be offline, and naturally all the various little feature things, which will go ahead and let it do its thing. Go ahead and just click yes, move through the entire process. And we'll let Cortana do its thing. Granted, I believe that would require an external microphone. And then now basically just does the final setup, which shouldn't take too long to do. Then we'll be greeted specifically with the home screen. Takes a moment to get processed. We are currently using a Dell monitor here. Fairly large one with HDMI. But this panel was actually, just a bit of history behind it, as it was actually used at the Los Alamos National Research Laboratory in Mexico. Basically the place where the atomic bomb was developed. Keep thinking on it. Come on. Taking her a moment. Either that, or does not like the resolution this thing's in. Might be a moment. But yeah, I will mention with this panel wasn't exactly used in the best of condition, nor really properly taken care of after the fact from when I bought it. So I bought this panel as part of a bigger lot of multiple other panels, which, granted, are mostly dead, and the ones that were usable have been basically sold off. But I did keep a few, especially like the Apple monitor that's in the background. Which granted, most of the time I'm playing City Skylines on it. But we'll probably pause it from here and come back. It booting up to Windows. I don't know what was going on with it earlier here. Seemed to be kind of acting a bit odd. But I guess if anything, this thing does seem to have a bit of a boot time. It takes a while. There we go. 10, obviously the classic, background that Windows 10 is known for. Then shortly we will get into the basically start screen. But for the most part, this is a pretty nice little device, especially just as like a mobile TV unit for a media center type unit. Like as a media center type TV device, because you can basically watch Netflix and so on via one of those little wireless remotes via Bluetooth or something, or like these are with the 2.4 gigahertz, whatever. Obviously, you're now on the welcome screen or the main screen. Classic Windows default background, and basically just the usual full-on Windows 10 vanilla setup. It looks like. Isn't really special other than the fact that it's just kind of it is what it is. Now, probably with it being an Intel Celeron system, I don't think it'll probably run a lot of your high-end games. Now, honestly, we cannot currently test that without definitely a backup deal or a deal there, but let me work. Control this PC to verify the details of the system. We are also running the 64 gigs as stated, aka 56.7 gigabytes, with the OS taking up most of the OS. Okay, property. Basically, the OS takes about the 22 gigs. It takes up a decent chunk of space, but other than that, it's like I said, it's just your basic vanilla Windows 10. Activated, ready to go. The classic Windows Media Player. I personally prefer to that program. It works quite well. And honestly, there's all the details of the system. 10 home. Build 19041. Descriptions to manufacturer Awow TX33. The 64-bit version of the OS. Celeron. BIOS by American Megatrends. And whatnot. 6 gigs of RAM. Basically, as listed, which is basically soldered directly to the board itself, so that is non-user upgradable. With the only upgrade option available on this device would be basically the addition of the hard drive, aka SSD. But other than that, it's your fairly basic system in a sense. Nothing really new, nothing really whatever. Which granted, with most computers these days, they're getting to be kind of bland as it is. Yes, you got Dell and these guys coming up with all these sleek designs and whatever else, but you know, basically there's not much you can really do with that. And again, more of the same information. It's sent home with, I guess, the experience pack, which is interesting. And or Windows Features Experience Pack, which I've not heard of that one before, but all good. And according to this thing, the version we're running is version 2004, which I think is somewhat current, I believe, or latest generation, I'm not sure. Yeah. They installed this last year of, let me see, installed on the 10th month of 2020 on the 14th. Which I believe January, February, April, somewhere on that. Yeah. Or actually, ironically, back in October is when this was installed. And ready to go for the manufacturing. And then basically from there, sent off to Amazon and so on. Which we will look at the link for that here shortly for what they're presenting. And I think off the bat, like I said, if you're doing like virtual learning, something like that, this would be a good system for that. It's very simplistic, very, easy of use, nothing crazy, gets the job done. Now, as is, you don't actually notice it. The fan that you're currently hearing in the background would be from my 2011 iMac. But in that, this one, fan for this, is fairly quiet. You don't really notice it, so that's actually a nice thing. Especially if you're looking for just a quiet system. But like I said, again, it probably could do some gaming, but I wouldn't recommend it to be super high-end since it only has 6 gigs of RAM. Basically, you're not talking like iMovie or anything like that. Nothing high-end there. At most, probably a little bit of like, your puzzle games and some titles, most likely. And of course, home office use. Or better yet, the system would probably even work for a point-of-sale system, ironically. But really, without really going too further on the system, there's really not much I can say on the system, other than the fact that it gets the job done. Well, it's your typical Windows computer. Kind of a mini PC in a sense, basically what this is. Nothing great, nothing fancy, just gets the job done. And covers the deal. But overall, fairly simplistic. Nothing special, nothing, top of the line, whatever. But I guess for a lot of folks, it'll definitely get the job done. But I guess from here, we'll probably go through and look at the actual listing itself. Now, considering I don't really have internet, I can't do too much with Steam or anything, test some stuff out. But I know for a fact it would easily run Rocket Tycoon Classic Edition, and even Rocket Tycoon 3. It might even run, most likely this could probably even handle running Doom. But obviously there's no point going too crazy, because there's plenty of other people out there that can do that better than I probably could. And just with my ability not being... But with my ability, there's only so much that I've got available to me. But really, like I said, it works. Also, we can do all the graphic test stuff in the lab, but that requires internet that I don't currently have. But really, other than that, it works. It gets the job done. It's just your simple Windows computer. On the go, portable, gets the job done. Basically, when I bought this thing, it was about $145, and there was a coupon available when I purchased it. Sometimes you can also get it on one of those Amazon flash sales. But basically, reading through the details here, the bit of the link. And for the most part, everything that you see on this thing listed is pretty well accurate for what you get. I'll do it now. You want all that stuff? No, that's definitely an interesting case design. That's kind of on the Macs. But yeah, the TX33 Windows Media PC, 6 gigs RAM, Wi-Fi, obviously 20 ROM, Bluetooth 4.2, can do up to 4K, ideally 1080p, nothing high-end, what I have to say. Love the Intel processor, 2-core processor, Celeron, yada yada, so on. Basically, it is what you get. What they're listing this thing as being is basically the exact thing, or the exact product as claimed. But overall, like I said, it's nothing really special. It's just another computer, but with functionality for a lot of systems. May it be just as a media center system, occasional work, media display for like a business, something like that. Somebody wanting to do some digital signage or something for their business. Good way to kind of promote different products. And basically that's the deal. And they also have a full range of different products available. All at different price points. All these different solutions there. Little final details. Graphics and so on. 20 gigahertz, Wi-Fi, 80C, 4 ports, just like your basic stuff. So it comes with a power supply, everything you need, all